Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast, or a brand new episode. This week, we'll be talking about, we would have been talking about the Old Firm game and the Aberdeen game, but it's now the winter break. It's been moved forward, and I am pretty sure we'll give our thoughts about that decision. The last game, obviously, before the turn of the year, we played St Mirren yesterday. We'll give our thoughts on that one behind pretty much closed doors, 500 fans. And then we'll round it off with basically looking at 2021. It was a very positive year for everybody involved with Rangers. Few sort of low points, but a lot of highs in between. So we'll cover that as well at the end. And as always, if you'd like, subscribe and share about our podcast, it would be very much appreciated. But I think before we even go into anything, we need to start at the high point. Greg Stewart, that goal is world class.
Sensational. That's what that goal is. I can use that word. I know I say it a lot for my boy Jordy Bo, but man's playing the best football of his life over in India at the moment. It seems like he's turned into Cristiano Ronaldo. What's this? This is just, it's unbelievable to watch the highlight packages back for the Indian Super League, which I'm loving. My boy Greg Stewart is taking over. He's going to win the league.
Well, that's him, I think, 6 goals, 6 assists or something this season. So he's already made his impact over there. And although we talk about him a lot in here, that's just showing how good a player Greg Stewart is. He was starved of any opportunity last season, and I'm happy to see the guy over there just showing his talents. Because I mean, a hat trick, every goal was a screamer. A couple of weeks ago, he scored a 40-yard free kick, went off the post. Where are they feeding that guy over there?
All hits, no misses. That's my boy Greg Stewart. I'm telling you, he had probably, as we said on the podcast, if there was anybody we could swap lives with for a year, it was Greg Stewart, just sitting watching the team win the league. And now he's away over to India and he's turned into Cristiano Ronaldo. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's a couple of bids for him maybe in January, if you had a couple of clubs to maybe bring him back to the UK.
Well, we need to wait and see that, but he looks like he's pretty settled over in India. But going on to obviously the winter break then, we were supposed to be covering going into Aberdeen on Wednesday and then the Old Firm game on Sunday, but obviously that's no longer going to happen. The Aberdeen game, 18th of January now, it's going to be a Tuesday night instead of a Wednesday, and then the Old Firm game is going to be the 2nd of February, which is going to be a Wednesday night. Mental that there's even going to be an Old Firm game in the midweek, but that's how it is.
See, we a midweek Old Firm. Was that not the one where like power patch and that get pure fucking knocked to the ball?
You're right.
I remember that one, man.
Do you know that might have been the last time there was an Old Firm game during the week, by the way, because the SPFL, they always try to make it 12 o'clock on a Sunday, rarely ever on a Saturday either, and they're rarely ever during the week. So, it was just how it's going to be. Obviously, we were against the games being moved and the break being pushed forward, but it's the way the league. And do you think it maybe comes at a good time where we're 6 points clear? Obviously, everybody else around about the league has been dismantled with COVID injuries and all that. So do you think maybe looking at it with your Rangers sort of specs off, it's a good idea for the league to shut down for a couple of weeks?
In terms of people losing probably key important players and what have you to COVID, I suppose definitely, especially a team like St Mirren. Fantastic job they did getting a 0-0 result with their, what was it, under 15s, was it? I mean, for me, to be honest with you, Johnson should just be relegated already. But no, I could understand why, but at the same time, I just think to myself, should I played the Aberdeen game and definitely Old Firm, and then there we go, should I just stuck at it? But at the end of the day, mate, it is what it is. Just as long as what we all want to happen at the end of the season happens, I won't be too bothered, I guess.
That's the way you've got to look at it. Obviously, it's not ideal because it's no secret Celtic were on not poor form, but they've got a poor squad at the moment, a lot of injuries, a lot of people out. We want to play them. If it was the other way about, you're going to want to play them as well. So, obviously for that reason, Aberdeen obviously looking pretty poor all season. It would have been a good opportunity to go play 2 big games, get them out of the way, and then move into the new year. On top, although we are still on top going into the new year, we've still got these 2 games to think about, and there's a big question mark over if Joe Aribo Leon Balogun will even be involved anymore. Obviously, Van Bronckhorst came out maybe last week in his press conference. He said, no, they're going to be here for the Old Firm game. Obviously, with that taking place now a month later, it might be no Joe Aribo for that game, which will be sickening to even think about. But it all depends really on how Nigeria go and that. And Celtic, the whole thing with them pushing for it first, just shows they're scared to play us, to be honest with you. That's the way I'm looking at it. They would have not been able to cope with us if we had the team we had yesterday, the squad, and then they had that. They're bringing on players for their under-17 squad and all that. That's how bare they are. They're playing Kyogo and he's not even fit, and he's injured again. So, to me, that's what it looks like. They've wanted to get all their best players back, their full squad back, so they can try and play us, and they've run scared for an Old Firm game.
Definitely, mate. I do back it. I do agree. As I said yesterday, I did feel like when I did see that Celtic team that came out, I did think to myself, chance for St Johnstone maybe to get something there, maybe a point, maybe all three. You looked at the team they put out, but as I said, I knew they're going down. They're going down St Johnstone. But no, I can understand it. At the end of the day, they're going to have their best players back, and we're going to have our full, hopefully, majority of our full squad there. The best team wins, to be honest with you. I'm not concerned about teams going hiding and all this part. Listen, turn up, play the game, and whatever happens, we handle it. As I said, we had to play them without our manager, without majority of
without a captain, without your two first choice goalies.
Aye. So I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, as I say, as long as the result we all want at the end of the season is the result, we'll look back and think. I do think that if we do go on to do what we do, which I do believe that we can, that it'll be a lot more joyous, a lot more fresher in here.
It'll be a lot sweeter after all this shite if we end up going win the league again. 100%, I agree with you. Could even be bigger than last season's triumph, to be honest with you. Just
there's one thing.
When you go,
sorry, mate, but there's one thing that they probably haven't took into consideration as well is Gio might be bringing players in that might be better than the current certain players that we have. I know everyone's going on about Jordan going, what a massive miss it will be, but you never know. Gio might bring in a young talent that nobody knows, and he might turn it on. You never know, and it's the same as say we might potentially lose one or two players, but you don't know. Of course, you want Joe Aribo there. Arguably, 100% as a player of the season so far for myself and probably yourself as well. But it is going to be a massive miss if Joe's not there for the Old Firm.
Yeah, definitely. And you're just hoping, fingers crossed, that he's going to be a Rangers player by the end of February to go into the Old Firm game with even the chance of him being there.
Champions League.
So I'm hoping we'll be able to keep them the large majority of our side. I'm expecting to maybe lose one or two of the current side. Maybe a couple go out on loan. Just maybe and see. I would like to see who Gio's going to bring in as the players he's maybe we can keep an eye on anyway.
Big man will be back as well. Hollander fully fit.
Nice.
That's what we want. Pop in them goals in the Old Firm against Son. That'll be all good.
Well, let's
sack the Abba.
An even bigger testament to how Calvin Bassey's performed over the past month, because does Hollander even come straight back in anymore? It's Bassey's position for me at the moment. That although Hollander is a top defender, I don't think he comes straight back in. I think it's Bassey's to really lose.
You ease him back in. Definitely it's Bassey's to lose, but you'll definitely ease him in. As I say, the Scottish Cup game that's coming up, I think that'd be a good chance to get Hollander some minutes. But I do expect a centre half to be leaving the club probably next month, and if he doesn't, I'd be shocked. I do expect Big Connor Goldson maybe to be on his way either next month. More likely, probably at the end of the season if he knows we're top of the league. You never know, but it definitely is Calvin's to lose. But as I'm saying, I don't know, maybe something like Barisic. But then I think to myself, you know what, Barisic has turned my head around, and I'm enjoying watching Barisic playing at the moment.
Same as me. Obviously, we're going to that St Mirren game in a wee second, but finishing up in the winter break, it's positive that we'll be able to have a full squad back. Hopefully Joe Aribo and Balogun and such will be here for the Old Firm game, more importantly. And then going into the cup game still in Aberdeen, we'll be able to see a second string squad because we're playing twice in a matter of 2 days there. So I would like to see a lot of youth maybe thrown into that one, because obviously the league game is important. And then if we turn over to Friday, like 2 days in between, I don't see many of the same squad that started against Aberdeen being in the squad for the cup game. What's your thoughts on that?
I would like to see my boy Robbie McCrory maybe get some minutes in the cup game, to be honest with you. As we said, the man turned in two man of the match performances, and then he's not been seen again. So I would like to see a couple of people, maybe somebody like Ryan Jack. That might be a good game just to give him some minutes and maybe get the confidence back there. Maybe if we want to make a big January signing, we'll go for my boy Greggy Stewart, bring him back in. Hat trick in the game, plays on the no. It would be good to see maybe Patterson probably playing. It'd be nice to see some people get some minutes, obviously, but I do think that game would be a lot better for Hollander first game back, just to get the minutes in, especially if you expect us to dominate the ball large majority of the game. So you never know, but I'm just hoping, mate, as I said, with this whole winter break thing, I just think it's a joke, personally, as I say. I don't understand it, but I just think it benefits us as much as it's going to benefit other teams in the league to have our best players back. We're definitely going to have some players back in. And obviously Jody will probably be the only real missing. Leon Balogun as well, but we do send them off, wishing them well in the Cup of Nations.
Of course, and hopefully this 3-week period just passes by as fast as anything, because starting on now, St Mirren, that was some of the best football I've seen at Ibrox all season yesterday. It just looked like everything that Van Bronckhorst and his team have been working on. They've had a week to really plan this game out and stay on the pitch training and working everything out. It just seemed to work yesterday. Everything your fullbacks were bombing more forward, like you were in the opposition half. It was just a matter of when we would score. And unlikely, Scott Wright's at the back post for a header. I was happy to see Scott Wright on the score sheet, my man of the match for yesterday as well. And he's really one that's grasped his opportunity in the last couple of weeks.
Definitely has. He definitely has grasped his opportunity. Get a cheeky wee header, as you said. Didn't expect to see him at the back post. I do think there's maybe one or two things he still needs to improve on. I don't know whether it's not really confidence, but it's just it feels like panic sometimes when he's running with the ball and then he just loses it or he just crosses it in maybe a bit too early. Definitely a shout for man of the match. Just the performances, it was just a beautiful performance. I know a lot of people were saying we do kind of seem to be playing better without fans. It was sad not to see any fans there, man. You're used to back in your head, you're used to just seeing a full ibrox. The team coming out and if they're going for it, but it was a fantastic performance start to finish. Couple of just a wee niggle things I would probably say. You know what I mean? One or maybe two times my boy Calvin Bassey did lose a wee bit of concentration, but he recovered well and got the ball back. But the attacking play was just beautiful. I mean, Ryan Kent putting the balls through people's legs. Hadji did it in our half and all. In the second half, two of them were on him, and he rinsed the two of them and went away. So it was beautiful football all around yesterday, man.
It was from start to finish. I mean, there was only one winner of the game. St Mirren, obviously, with their own issues, they had a lot of their team back, and fair play to them for still going on and playing the game. But we were too strong yesterday. I feel like if anybody came to Ibrox, we would have dismantled them in that form. The only problem with the performance really was we didn't score more. The two goals, obviously Scott Wright's header at the back post, it sort of trickled in over the line. Morelos makes sure of it, but it is Scott Wright's goal. And then the second one, great delivery into the box for Morelos initially with a header, and then he just rockets into the goal. 2-0, basically the game's done then. But I was expecting to see maybe more goals because it's just a matter of time again. But we're going to give a team an absolute tanking soon, I think. Everything is just coming together. These missed chances are eventually going to turn into goals, and there's going to be a team sorry for it on the other side.
Definitely. I do feel like it's coming. As you said, I was hoping for 4 or 5 yesterday, if I'm being honest. I do feel like we could have probably got them, but it's just good. It's all positive plays, I'm saying. We're constantly thinking. There was a bit when Joe Aribo had a shot, where he usually buries at top corner. As I say, we've seen him bury at top corner. He went low. A couple of things I was just a bit maybe decision making, but no, overall, man, I fully enjoyed the game yesterday. The play for the start till the very end was fantastic. And it's what you want to see. As you say, more likely potentially a Scottish Cup game. You never know. I'd love it to be somebody like Aberdeen or something. I'd love a 5-6-0 against them. But no, I can see it coming, mate. I definitely seen it. And as I said to you, it's going to happen. As I said at the start of the season, when we were only playing the best, we'll pick ourselves back up and we'll start to play the way that we expect, we hope to see. And I do feel like we are. And it's all down to Gio. Probably maybe the best thing that's happened.
I agree. I mean, all these sort of ideas are just coming to fruition every single week. Like, even for the first day he was in the door against Sparta Prague, like, you've seen a minor change in the squad at that time. We went and get the result, and ever since then, it's just been going up a level. The fact that we've not conceded a goal since Leon and Livingston under his tenure has been remarkable, because I mean, we leaked goals all season. There was always that sort of one. But Ross County was a big one for me. Like, just lack of concentration. Maybe like yesterday, and Ross County did score a couple of goals. But yesterday, obviously, we kept the back door shut. And then yesterday as well, I thought Tavernier played with a lot of freedom. He was in the middle of the park more than he was outright. A lot of freedom. I thought he played really well. Barisic, I thought, was amazing. Like, I'm struggling to describe Barisic anymore, because he's, for a guy who I would be like, right, we'll cash in and we'll see him go. He's looking like a vital player again. And obviously, you've never been his sort of biggest fan, but he's impressed recently.
No, he's impressed massively for me personally. As I said, not really his biggest fan. Always had problems with him defensively, but going forth, he has a joy to watch. And seems like he has put his head down and he's working hard. And I feel like Gio has probably given him a new lease of life, new confidence. Same way, my boy Alfie killing it again. He looks slimmer, he looks happier, enjoying his play. It was nice to see Giannis no looking confused or frustrated at his performance. He was looking free, he was looking good to express himself. I'm a bit concerned with the hair. I know I want to talk for the hair, but listen, Giannis, what are you doing? You're a good looking boy, keep that nice and short with what you had before. You know what I mean? You've got all the sponsorship deals. Don't be going for, I don't know what he's going for. Jeff Hardy, what's he going for?
I know, slick back. Look at Modric, I'll say.
Look at Modric. No, but overall, mate, it was a positive performance, as I said. Besides the game, probably one of the best things to happen is probably the Al McGregor press conference, to be honest with you. I do love listening to Al McGregor in a press conference.
He just says it how it is. I think that's why
he does, man.
So likeable. What's the key to keeping clean sheets? No conceding goals. Like, he's just an absolute dafty, but you just love it. See, anytime you see on Twitter or press conference day, Al McGregor is here, like, I'm refreshing until that video comes out, because that's always a top of an interview. But again, going into that, that was a good interview. And
what
then
was the one with? Was it with B? What was the one with? Was it BT or was it with Sky? Where they were like to him, "Oh, were you disappointed to concede the goal?" And he was like, "Nah, no, really. We won the game. It's more important." Really.
Yeah, I remember when we drew one each at Hamilton last year. He was the one tonight, and our reaction will be on the YouTube channel somewhere. But he gave another sort of memeable interview, we'll say, there as well. But just says it how it is. Just, what's the key to not conceding goals? Like, no letting any goals, man. He's a good laugh. But back on it yesterday, the midfield three for me was just everything I've ever wanted to see, to be honest with you. Kamara just sitting right in that number 6 role, just pinging balls about, making stuff happen. Aribo, I mean, as MD ever took the ball off him, it's always ball glued to his feet. Again, another top performance. Hadji in the middle, as you said, he looked free, looked like that's where he wants to be, like in and around the box, not stuck out in the wing, trying to use pace that he doesn't have. I feel like this is Hadji. We spoke about it last week. Obviously, where is he going to be? Gio obviously liked what he saw in the second half of the Dundee United game. A lot of us did as well. And for me, that's Hadji's position. If Arfield isn't playing, play Hadji in there.
Definitely. As I said, man, he looked more free, looked a bit more expressive. My boy Joe Rebo, as you said there, I love the 1-2 with him and Alfie, and all was unlucky not to turn into a goal. But no, Hadji, he looked a bit more where I would like to see him personally. That's where we've been saying, mate. I honestly think somebody at the club must be watching our podcast, because honestly, we've literally just told you what to do, man. Just play the boy there. He'll be more expressive. The passing will come. The linking play. But even more thing with Arfield, the only thing that shed a tear to my Jack was no seeing my boy Bacuna. Where is he? Why is man not going on?
I don't want him to be forgotten about either. Like, this is a guy with bags of talent. We need to see him soon. But
that's what annoyed me. It was just that, all right, Arfield coming on, fair play. I've no got any issue with Arfield, but I just thought, come on, put him on. Just give him a couple of minutes, put him on. He'll do something. As I say, he scored a fantastic goal, man, and he looked like he was starting to pick it up, and then he just, I don't know.
It's just, again, every single time I've seen him since, I mean, he's always got positive attributes about him. Like, if he loses the ball, he always tries to fight for it back. He always makes stuff happen. He creates. He can play in the left-hand side, in the middle as well. For me, he's a player we need to see a lot more soon. And that's probably my only criticism of Van Bronckhorst so far, is not gaining more game time, because he's a guy I want to see on the pitch more.
No, definitely is. As I say, man, he's got bags of talent, and as we've seen it, do you know what I mean? When you see it, you're like, right, cool, we need to play this guy more. But as I said to you, it's got to be a headache for Gio, because that talent in the middle of the park, man. As I said, I personally love Ryan Jack to bits, but I don't see how he gets back into the team with the free rein playing, mate, the way that we are. Even somebody like Lundstrom, who hasn't really put a foot wrong, he can't even get into the middle of the park.
Even Stephen Davis can't get into the team.
Davis, are you mad? Like, it's crazy. So it's got to be a headache. I'd be shocked if we went and signed somebody in the middle of the park. Really, I do think there's maybe one or two areas where we could improve, that we do need maybe a bit more assurance. But even somebody like Fashion, I'm thinking myself, man, like, how's he no starting? And then you see, man, Ryan Kent's just ending people's careers. Honestly, see, after he did that, he violated. Honestly, they two should have just walked off the park. Like, put the ball through the legs. It was Scott Wright, though. I've got, as I say, I've got to give him credit, man. The guy has took his opportunity and he's ran me. As I say, there's one or two things I just think he needs to improve on the shooting. Bro, please just go with a couple of balls.
That is literally it for Scott Wright. See if he gets the final ball right, and he's going to be some player for Rangers, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's just hard. How do you decide? Obviously, Ryan Kent's thing, but for me, it's between Scott Wright and Fashion. How do you know what I mean? And
I think it's just maybe different games. I think obviously it's 3 weeks away. Anything can happen. Maybe they can leave the club, but I think going into the Aberdeen game, you start Scott Wright. Like, if it's any game he's what you go to score in, it's going to be that one. And then the Old Firm game, I think we'll start with Fashion, Sakala. I mean, that front three terrorised Hearts. Hearts have been phenomenal this season. Terrorised Hearts. So for me, that's the three you have to play against Celtic. But again, ever-changing football landscape. We'll see what happens in 3 weeks. But I was really happy with the front three yesterday. Kent, as you say, just maybe needing more goals to his game. But his overall performance level is just, he's always a threat. Some of the balls he put into the box as well, I thought was really good. His delivery was good. Maybe sometimes like he had that chance in the first couple of minutes and he could have shot, but he tried to pass it to Morelos, and then the one in the second half where it drops for a volley and he passes it to Hadji. Sometimes I just think he should back himself more. That's
what I see all the time. I just feel it's something when I train him at the club. Sometimes Kamara gets him just on the edge of the box instead of passing it through, mate. Have a shot. It's all about, I guess, confidence and how they're hanging. But no, definitely, come on, mate, back yourself. Put the ball in hang me. But just when he goes on his runs, Ryan Kent, man, I could watch him play all day, honestly. As I said, the run stiffy, honestly, is fantastic. And as you said, front three was fantastic yesterday, man.
Morelos, not even had the chance to speak about him yet, but Morelos is back to his best. Second in the top scorer list for the Premier League. A place where I didn't expect to see him, to be honest with you. Like, he's kind of been starved of goals all season, but since Gio's come in, what's that, eight goals, something like that. So he's got his scoring mojo back. He's in the right position. He looks healthier. He's running. I mean, that run where he took it by the player, it reminded me a lot of the Antwerp one, and that's probably the last time we ever saw Morelos take a sprint like that. I thought he was unplayable yesterday. Could have had about 3 or 4 on another day again. But I think maybe the coaching of Roy Mackay coming in there, working with all the strikers, is benefiting, because Morelos is looking back to his old self.
Absolutely. The only one thing I would probably criticise Morelos for yesterday was, see, when he took the run and he played Ryan Kent through, Hadji was bursting through. You got to play that ball in the middle and he's through and he's in. But no, yesterday, again, man, his form has just been fantastic. As I say, he looks slimmer, he looks happier, and he's enjoying playing his football. And it wouldn't be a Morelos goal without getting that knee slide, and that's what we all love to see. So,
100%, and hopefully, coming into again another busy period, he can keep that scoring form up. We'll hopefully have Kemar Roof back, a guy that on another day you would have probably been, we could have done with a Kemar Roof, but not missed him at all.
No, we've not missed him at all, and that's what I was about to say there, mate. It's incredible to me, also, we'll touch on what we're touching on next, that everyone thought he would be probably one of them to leave before, do you know what I mean? And Gerrard's thing, and he stayed, and I'm happy, man, for my boy, honestly. As I say, I'm just happy to see him enjoying his play. Still not sure about the hair dye or whatever he's done to his hair. but absolutely love him to bits. And I would tell Jim White, stay away from him. Why do you zoom in
see it.
camera in his face? Do you know what I mean? Get away from him.
Aye, I seen that on Twitter yesterday as well. But positive all around yesterday. It was nice to get a win before the winter break. Another clean sheet, and just everything is coming to play. I loved a lot about yesterday's performance. And we end 2021 on a very high note, 6 points clear at the top of the league, one defeat in about 60 odd league games, which is, that stat doesn't get talked about enough, by the way. That is unbelievable that throughout like 2018, 2019, I mean, every game you were going into, you were like, could get beat here. And now we're going into games and we're like, nah, we no way we'll lose this game. One defeat, obviously, still stings. It annoys me to this day that it was Dundee United, but what a start.
It's a remarkable start, mate, as you said, for where we've been, and we're well now, man, to think just the one, and that one was a brutal game, if we're honest, if we were to watch that one back. As you say, going for just thinking to yourself, here we go. As I say, Celtic moaning about not having half of their team. Tell us when you've had to play big Philip Senderoff and all that. You know what I mean? And now you're on a run like this. It's just remarkable, as I say, the decision making that's been made at the club to bring people in that have turned it around. We've done what we've done, and it's just fantastic.
So some start, and that's all thanks to obviously Steven Gerrard and his team for starting it off for us, and then Gio for taking over as well, because it's not been an easy season this year. Obviously, I give a lot of thanks to Steven Gerrard and his team for what they've done last season and what they've built going into this season. Of course, it still hurts, but I think I'm sort of over it now. I'm thankful for what he done for the club. It just still stings a wee bit the way he left, but he's going doing what he's doing, and I thank him for what he left behind, because Gio's been able to pick all that stuff up and do even better stuff with it. So all thanks to everybody involved in the management team in 2021. We can't forget 55, obviously the year of 55, a momentous occasion for everybody with the club. And then hopefully 2022, we're talking about another league title, hopefully more success coming to the club, because it's been a very positive year to be a Rangers fan, to be honest with you. Maybe under 5 defeats all year. I mean, mental.
It's crazy, mate. And as you say, there's not too much as a Rangers fan you can complain about. Obviously, the way Gerrard left and what have you is probably left a sour taste in your mouth and what have you. But you do have to look at it and thank them for 55, as you say. Remarkable season, incredible season. Sound like Jamie Carragher, remarkable. No, that's English, as I said, but we move on. We've got Assassin, we've got Hitman. I swear, every time Gio walks out and he's got them gloves on, I'm like, my God, he's a Hitman. Like, do you know what I mean? I just think to myself, somebody's getting sniped. And I was yesterday, so no, I'm, as you say, thankful to Michael Beale, Gary McAllister, the whole lot of them for what they did. But I feel like we're in better hands. I feel like, as we've all been saying, and thinking to yourself, maybe it was Gerrard that was the problem and it wasn't the players. These players look a lot more happy, a lot more expressive and enjoying their football, and that's what we want to see. But as I say, we send them thanks, and you're lucky the game could postpone, Gerrard, because Leeds would have done
too much trouble going on in the Premier League now, obviously. Steven Gerrard missing for his games as well. That's the episode of the day. If you did like, obviously, if you could like, subscribe, share about for us, very much appreciated. All the best for the new year. And hopefully on to more important and better things in 2022 before we end off, obviously.
Absolutely. Well, before we end off, you started the episode, but we usually end it with Greggy Stewart. But as we said, Happy New Year and all that fancy jazz to everyone who supported the podcast. Appreciate it massively. It means a lot to the two of us, obviously, with the YouTube channel and the audio, if you're listening to it on any streaming apps or what have you. And obviously we'll have some stuff, I guess, to fill in the long period, having the Rangers playing. Probably do some transfer deadline kind of stuff or what have you. But I just appreciate everyone listening, and hopefully it's all a safe and happy New Year to everyone.
Of course, reiterate that message as well, and we'll see you in the new year. Cheers.